Welcome to Investors Insights. Today's a special Investors Insights as we want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. We want to thank those who have previously served, who are serving now, and all their families who are making the sacrifice. Special shout out to our own Felicia Ludlam. Thank you for serving. And guys, so a lot going on this week. Memorial Day, 4-day trading week. Markets closed on Memorial Day. The first thing is with everybody traveling, let's talk about oil for a second. So past 3 weeks, the U.S.-Iranian tensions have kind of flared up. And so it's important to point out that in history, it's oil that causes most of the recessions. A spike in oil causes some recessions. So a couple of times that's happened. Saudi Arabia oil embargo, 73, 74. That led to a recession. The Iranian Revolution of 1979. And then also the Iraq invasion of Kuwait in 1990. So we're watching that carefully in the Middle East to see if there's if that causes an oil spike. But also, Adam, talk about retail sales. You mentioned it last week that consumers looking really good here. Talk about retail sales.
Yeah, last week we talked about the U.S. consumer, the index, talking about the consumer and how they think about the overall health of the U.S. economy. One thing that we see that's really lagging is retail sales. We think, with this consumer sentiment coming out, being very positive, we could start to see these retail sales start to drive up. Hopefully, that's our hope at least. That's been the biggest lag for job growth in a lot of different areas. So, the consumer gets out there, starts spending, retail sales go up.
Yep. Hopefully, the oil, spike in oil will not hurt the U.S. consumer to a large extent. Historically speaking, like Bobby said, when you see a big spike in oil, that sucks out a lot of the oxygen of consumer spending because they have to continue to spend. They may drive less because of the cost of driving, but then if you're not driving as much, you're not spending as much because you're not going to places where you can spend. You may not travel, especially on this Memorial Day holiday. I'm sure everyone's seeing the price of the pump has gone up a little bit. So how big of that impact into consumer spending, retail sales, the consumer sentiment, do we see that pull back if gas prices go up? This will be the first time we've really had a Middle East tension spike in a world where the U.S. is a net exporter of energy. So it's going to be kind of a first of its kind, watch and see how everything reacts. Very interesting to watch. Something that hopefully will help the consumer in spending is that in the first quarter, the U.S. corporations paid the highest number of dividends in history. $122.5 billion in dividend payments went out to U.S. investors. That's an 8.3% increase over the last year. It's a large increase. This is good on two fronts. One, that's putting cash in investors' pockets. They can either reinvest or spend. And two, companies rarely increase dividends if they think things are going to be rocky in the near term because it's very difficult to cut a dividend once it's increased. So it's a good sign that companies, CFOs, CEOs are confident about at least the intermediate term in terms of they believe they'll be able to consistently pay this dividend. Normally what they'll do is they'll do a one-time buyback of stock if they're not believing in the long-term future. But a dividend, that's something once set, it's typically paid in perpetuity. So a very good sign for U.S. investors and hopefully a good sign for the consumer.
Yeah, so healthy economy, healthy corporations, healthy higher payouts.
That's right.
We like to see that. So we hope that everyone has a great Memorial Day weekend and Memorial Day with family and friends. Thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks.